All right, guys, Mikey here from Mikey's Iron Rage. And guys, I got another banger for use today. And we're going to do it on the gift Phil Heath versus Kai Greene at the 2012 Sheru Classic. And I got to say, it wasn't that deep of a lineup. 1 through 4 was pretty good, but the rest of the lineup sucked. 1, we had Phil Heath. 2, Kai Greene. 3rd was Tony Freeman, and 4th was Rolly Winkler. The rest of the competitors, I don't know who the fuck they are. But anyway, 1 through 4 was pretty good. Rolly Winkler was just coming into his own in 2012. That was like towards the beginning of his career, so he didn't look that great. Tony Freeman, the X-Man, he looked pretty good. And obviously, it was the Kai Greene Phil Heath show. And I gotta say, I think that Phil Heath deserved the win, but Kai Greene looked really, really good, though. Kai Greene was right there with Phil Heath the whole time, and some people might say that Kai Greene was better than Phil Heath. But we'll see what happens at the end of this video and who was really the better man on that day at the 2012 Sheru Classic. I mean, just look at the back shots, guys. Rolly Winkler looks horrible. Kai Greene, to be honest with you, I think Kai Greene's back looks a little bit better than Phil's. I think Phil's back was a little off at the 2012 Sheru Classic. To be honest, I think the 2012 Mr. Olympia, his back was off. His rear lat spread wasn't as good as I'm used to seeing it, and his rear double bicep wasn't as good as I'm used to seeing it. But I digress. So like I said, guys, let's see what happens at the end of this video and who's going to win this comparison, Kai Greene or Phil the Gift Heath. So guys, without any further ado, let's get it on. And we got the first pose of the night, the front double bicep. I couldn't get a front relax on Kai Greene, so we're going to have to go with the front double bicep. And I think I'm going to go and I'm going to give Phil Heath the point for this one. Usually I would go with Kai Greene against Phil Heath in the front double bicep because Kai Greene has really peaky biceps and big triceps. But I don't know. Phil Heath looks a little bit better. Phil Heath's midsection's a little tighter. He's got a little bit of a better V-taper in this pose. And his arms look a little bit better. Look at Kai Greene's left arm. His left arm is way smaller than the right arm. I don't know what happened. So Phil Heath is going to grab the point for the front double bicep. I just think Phil Heath looks a little bit better. And if it wasn't for Kai Greene's left arm, maybe I would go with Kai Greene. But I digress. Off to the next pose. And we got the front lat spread, guys. And this one's going to go to Kai Greene because Kai Greene is so much wider than Phil Heath. His lats look thicker. They're attaching a little bit lower. His quads look a little bit better. His chest, I don't know. His chest is a little wider than Phil's. Phil's is a little more rounded. But all in all, Kai Greene is going to get the point for sure. Absolutely. All right, guys, now we got a side chest shot, and Kai Greene is going to take this one as well. But earlier on in Kai Greene's career, 2011, 2012, even 2013, whenever he hit the side chest pose, his midsection would protrude a little bit. But as the years went on, he definitely brought this pose up. But if you look at him against Phil Heath in this pose, I don't know. Kai Greene has a better side tricep. It's more striated. It's popping a little bit more. His right pec is a lot bigger than Phil's right pec. And his arms and shoulders look just a little bit bigger and better. And the side sweep to the quads look thick and great. So Kai Greene is going to get the point for the side chest shot. All right, guys, now we got a side tricep shot. And yeah, Kai Greene has a great thick tricep. It's nice and deeply cut. But Phil Heath has a really thick tricep. And then he's got a great silhouette to go along with this pose because he's sucking in his gut. And his shoulder is nice and big. The biceps nice and big. His forearms are huge. So all in all, I'm going to go with Kai Greene for the side tricep. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Because this one really, really could go either way because Kai looks really good. All right, guys, now we got a crab most muscular, and I never, ever liked Kai Greene in this pose. I always thought he looked a little shallow in the crab most muscular, just because his traps suck, and his shoulders and arms look very small when he hits the crab. Phil Heath has one of the best crab most muscular poses. I like the way Phil Heath hit the most muscular pose in 2011. Then, from 2012 on, he hit it the way he's hitting it right now. And I think the way he hit it in 2011 was a little bit better because it made him look a little bit bigger. But I digress. So Phil Heath is going to take the point All right, guys, off to the next pose. And we got a hands on the hip, most muscular. And they're holding it a little bit differently. But this one's going to go to Kai Greene. You see, in the other most muscular pose, Phil Heath took it. But this one, Kai Greene is going to take it. Just look at how much tighter Kai Greene's midsection is, giving him a better V-taper. His quads look better. They're more separated and they're feathered. So I'm going to go with Kai Greene. I just think Kai Greene looks a little bit better and a little drier. And like I said, his midsection is definitely tighter. All right, guys, now we got an ab and thigh. And I don't know, this was a tough one. But what's going to make me go with Kai Greene, because it's an ab and thigh, right? So we got to go off the quads as well, is Kai's quads. They're so feathered, nice and thick. And he's got a better V-taper than Phil Heath in this pose. So I'm going to go and I'm going to give Kai Greene the point. Plus, Kai Greene's abs might look a little more deeply cut. And like I said, he's just got a better V-taper and he's wider. So Kai Greene is going to grab the point. All right, guys, now we got the rear lat spread. And if Kai Greene had a better lower back, like if his back was a little bit longer looking, Kai Greene wouldn't have that bad of a rear lat spread. But I never really liked Kai Greene in the rear lat spread. He doesn't really even look that wide, but from the front, he looks very wide. And then he's got great hams and glutes. But Phil Heath always had a great rear lat spread. From 2013 on, it looked like a piece of fucking armor on his back. Plus, his lower back is a little bit better than Kai Greene's lower back, and he's got great hams and glutes. So Phil Heath is going to take the point for the rear lat spread. All right, guys, off to the last pose of the night, the rear double bicep. And you know what? I really want to give this one to Kai Greene. I really do, because Kai Greene is wider, but his traps are not as thick as Phil Heath's traps. Phil Heath has great hams and glutes, but I mean, how can I go against Phil in the rear double bicep, right, guys? But Kai Greene, this is one of the best rear double bicep poses I've ever seen Kai Greene hit. But Phil Heath has one of the best rear double bicep poses in bodybuilding history. So Phil Heath is going to grab the last point for the rear double bicep, making it 5-4 Phil Heath. And I tell you, this one really could have went either way. It really could have went either way. But I guess Phil Heath is the rightful winner. But I really wanted to give that rear double bicep pose to Kai Greene. If only Kai's lower back was just a little bit better. But I digress. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this awesome video footage of Kai Greene versus Phil Heath at the 2012 Sheru Classic. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, guys, just tickle that Kevin Levrone icon button. Mikey's Iron Rage. Peace out.